Hi there, Bill Hitchcock. Woo! Another Power Pack program for you. By the way, it's been less than 24 hours since we just posted the video about Rob Bizzle, the chairman of Marine Fisheries Commission, writing a letter to the chairman Monty Crump of the chairman of the Wildlife Resources Commission about the flounder. Boy, has the response been tremendous. We got more on that, but I want to move forward. Oh, before we move forward, if you have any show ideas that you would like covered, or someone you'd like interviewed, talk to, whatever, feel free to get up with me, Bill Hitchcock, excuse me, at billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com. Any topic suggestions, whatever you want to hear about, let me know. And if we can, we'll do a story on it. And if we can, we'll do interviews with the people, if at all possible. So just give me an email. Remember, I treat all emails as public. All right. Please don't go to YouTube and post this request. Email me direct, because I might miss it on YouTube, what people post there. So please just email me direct. Now, what we're going to be doing, talked about this yesterday. Very interesting. HR 8507. This came out last May. It is called to provide for the designation of areas within which fishing activities carried out using bottom trawls may be carried out. This isn't on the state level. This is was submitted by Congresswoman Peltola out of Alaska. The short title of it is Bottom Trawl Clarity Act of 2024. What it is, let's get right on into it. They want to define the term substantial bottom contact as compared to the term limited bottom contact. That's one of the things they want to accomplish. They want monitoring and enforcement plan to ensure that any pelagic trawl fishery activity carried out within a fishery management by such council has limited bottom contact, and a list of each gear type that has substantial bottom contact based on the definitions submitted in one of these paragraphs here. Now, to go into a little bit more detail about 8507 HR, again, this is on the federal level. This isn't just being done in Raleigh. This is going to be done in Washington, D.C. Congresswoman, we won't get into that. Mary Peltola says that trawl fishing can be divided into two categories based on where the net falls in the water column, midwater or bottom. Says bottom trawling is an efficient way to catch large numbers of fish and shellfish, responsible for 26% of the global marine catch. A quarter, that's a bunch, of the world catch is coming through some type of a trawl. It is also the cause of one of the most widespread human impacts on the seabed and is relevant globally. The net rolls over the ocean floor as it is pulled, destroying complex habitats, kicking up sediment, and wounding or killing any other animals in the way. Goes on to say, however, if mid-water nets are assumed to make bottom contact up to 100% of the time, it begs the question, what truly distinguishes midwater from bottom trawling? So now the plot thickens, so to speak. Instead of just the bottom nets, she's going after the midwater nets, because she says that at some point in time or another, they're going to make contact with the bottom, so therefore she's categorizing the midwater trawling with the actual bottom trawling. Now, she says the act would mandate each fisheries management council that permits the use of any bottom trawl gear to define the terms substantial versus limited bottom contact. It would also require the designation of bottom trawl zones. These bottom trawl zones, limiting the areas where the gear that scrapes the seafloor is allowed. Once these zones are established, bottom trawling will only be permitted within them, potentially mitigating the environmental impact of this fishing method. That's from Congresswoman Mary Peltola. Industry has responded. They're using the Magnuson-Stevens Fishery Act as their focal point. It says HR 8507 disregards the lessons of the MSA, the Magnuson-Stevens Fishery Conservation and Management Act. Its top-down mandates would permanently wall off vast sections of ocean territory from important sustainable fisheries, boxing in not only the fishermen, but also the scientists and the managers, who would be prevented from adapting their management approaches to changing ocean conditions. It's a valid point. I mean, fisheries managers, where do they get their information from? A lot of it is from the commercial fishing industry. So if you do away with it, where are they going to get their information from? And it's one of the most common complaints here in North Carolina with the recreational fishermen is the survey. Say, I've never been surveyed. You hear that a lot. I've only been surveyed once in 40 years. So that's a very valid point. The other thing that the industry brings up is HR 8507 compels councils to adopt the archaic and counterproductive approach of creating permanent area-based closures that cannot be evaluated and modified as necessary over time. So basically, you got this area. What's going on? You don't know. You just don't know. Another point they bring up, the Council Coordination Committee recently examined all of the area-based conservation measures implemented in the United States EEZ, or the Exclusive Economic Zone, and federal elections. They calculated that 648 conservation areas covering more than 72% of the EEZ has been established. So industry is saying that, the commercial fishing industry is saying, look, 72%, almost 3/4 of the EEZ, which goes out to 200 miles, is already under conservation management. So that's an interesting point. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that. But Mary Peltola, this is so interesting. And by the way, we are going to get into the GAO fisheries management efforts to reduce and monitor unintentional catch, or bycatch. We're going to be talking about that too. But Mary Peltola goes on, and this is August 1st, 2024, when we're doing this. This came out yesterday, July 31st. This bill that Peltola has introduced, it is so young, they haven't assigned a number to it yet. Here's a great question. If you would like to reduce bycatch, would you be willing to donate to a federal fund to reduce bycatch? In essence, would you put your money where your mouth is? Listen to this. This bill, it says bycatch mitigation and assistance fund. It's in general, let's see, there is established in the general fund of the Treasury of the United States an account to be known as the Bycatch Mitigation Assistance Fund. It consists of donations being given. Also, amounts in the fund shall be used by the foundation to reduce or mitigate bycatch, including by providing financial assistance to fishermen and owners of commercial fishing vessels to purchase fishing gear. Well, she also wants to put aside $10 million for 5 years to help fund this. Again, my question is would you be willing to donate to a federal fund that would reduce bycatch? Interesting concept. Now I want to move forward into this. Look in the comments section. I'm going to provide a link to absolutely everything we're talking about here. All of these research studies, bills, proposals, some of these are quite lengthy. There's no way I could go through all of these things here in one fell swoop. But I want to go over the Government Accountability Office, what they've just come out with their federal fisheries management to reduce unintentional catch. They say that they asked to review efforts, or the GAO was asked to review efforts to manage bycatch. This report addresses 1, measures used to reduce bycatch, 2, coverage and funding of fisheries observers. And by the way, industry, the commercial fishing industry, has been self-funding or funding the observer program up to 30% per year, $75 million per year. I know some boats that are paying like $500, $600, $700 to have the observer come on their boat. So there's a little bit of resentment with that. 3, how bycatch estimates are developed and reported. And 4, how National Marine Fisheries Service tracks its performance towards reducing and monitoring bycatch. This is what this is all about. The GAO reviewed relevant laws and NIMS policies and documents. GAO interviewed NIMS and council officials, relevant stakeholders, including representatives from the fishing industry and academia. GAO selected 5 fisheries for a more in-depth review. These fisheries reflect a range of geographic regions, fishing gear types, and key bycatch concerns. Well, my concern, we weren't one of the regions they picked. There's 9. They picked 5, and where we are in North Carolina, they didn't pick us in any of their questionnaires, research studies, what have you. I'm sure there's a great reason why, but I don't know why. So we have efforts to reduce bycatch. We have a bill that's been introduced that's going to designate these zones offshore where they can and cannot trawl, and also a fund where industry people, I guess, can contribute to finance bycatch reduction. And again, the question is, would you contribute to that? Now, one of the things I find interesting, this is basically the EEZ, which is 3 nautical miles offshore out to 200 miles. This is the area they're talking about with these federal things. When it comes to the shrimp trawls here in North Carolina, one of the things I'm thinking about, the big push that's perennial, that's been going on for years and years, to push the shrimp trawls out of the sounds, out of the backwaters, out of the Inner Banks area, and push them offshore. Well, if these things start getting instituted, they can't go offshore. And if you ban them on the inshore, what happens? So the law of unintended consequences, I think we need to be very, very aware of all the things that are going on. As a matter of fact, that was one of the complaints we got from the last video we did about flounder, is that we got the Marine Fisheries Commission, you got the Division of Marine Fisheries, you got the Wildlife Resources Commission, they're doing laws and they're doing this, and everybody, no one's talking to each other. I mean, obvious when the chairman of the Marine Fisheries Commission has to write the chairman of the Wildlife Resources Commission saying that he's, very disappointed that you're trying to bring the flounder season back in when we recommend no. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you, billhitchcock@mail.com. Don't forget, for any story ideas, let me know. And also, we've got a lot more stuff to get out to you about flounder. Particularly, we're going to be pulling from a flounder symposium that was in New Bern this past May 2024, where they talk about, the symposium was like 6-7 hours long, and I've been going through it. And some of the things that they talked about are fascinating. Like, where did flounder go during the winter? Is it 1 stock? Is it 2 stocks? Where do the larvae go? Where do they spawn? Do they come back? Do they stay offshore? You're going to be very, very surprised. And one of the most surprising things that I found was how far inland flounders go. They did all sorts of tagging studies. They did sonic taggings. They did satellite pop-off style of, I don't know, I'm going for my back, as if somebody's going to tag my back. Yes, I know, I got a bullseye back there. Satellite pop-off style of tag. So it's fascinating stuff. Stay tuned. This is Bill Hitchcock. We'll get this information out to you ASAP.
Hitchcock Television. 40 years of television and film success.